everyone. I'm Peggy Rometo, and this is the Weekly Wake Up. So first of all, I just want to acknowledge that the Weekly Wake Up is late this week. I actually have been struggling with a migraine since Sunday night. So it's interesting how things work. Anyway, here we are. So we're going to move forward from today. And I just thought it would be appropriate if we started the Weekly Wake Up, given the horrible situation that's happened in Las Vegas, just to take a moment to acknowledge that and to be able to maybe gain some greater understanding, clarity, prevention, and awareness around this incident and why it's happened for us. And the reason I always say for us as opposed to us, when we talk about to us, it infers that we're victims and that we're dealing with a lot of fear, as opposed to when we speak about for us, we're coming from a productive place, one of love, and one that allows us to be able to create healing and in anything else that may be needed. So if we start from there, it'll give us some context about the situation, and then we'll be able to hopefully heal from it and learn from it, understand it, and move forward. Okay? And then we'll move forward with this week and see what else is in store for us, because while many of you aren't personally affected, on some level, we're all affected, right? So it's just the way the universe works. So let's go ahead and tune in and find out. And remember, this is your opportunity to kind of step into the energy of being able to listen for yourself, to be able to take a few deep breaths, to let go of your day, to really listen to the information as it unfolds, and to notice how it resonates with you, whether it does or whether it doesn't. I'm not here to tell you what's right or what's wrong for you. I'm here just to provide information, and then it's our observation or choice to be able to feel whether we're in agreement with that or whether it's off for us, and then to be able to make choices for ourselves. So the point in being is that we're all able to be able to receive divine information for ourselves so that we can lead ourselves in to be able to create the best life possible. All right, so let's move forward and see why that particular incident happened for us, and then we'll look at the remainder of the week. So let's take 3 long breaths, inhale and exhale, and move forward. Okay. Please know this tragedy is designed to be able to awaken us to a deeper understanding and appreciation of our own vulnerability, of our own sensitivity, and to our own resistance to being able to help others, or to be able to notice when someone else is hurting or stuck. And that what we can draw from this is the opportunity to be able to reach out and touch one another, especially when someone is feeling isolated, or they're feeling victimized, or they're feeling suffering or in pain. And if that person is ourselves, then it's our opportunity to kind of move us into a connection with other people. And what people tend to do is to move away when they're feeling suffering, or when they're feeling sad or lonely or heartbroken, or move into hatred or power. They tend to isolate themselves. And so what we want to do is to avoid that. And we create that by remaining connected with people, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's, why should I call them, or why am I always the one reaching out, right? It's an opportunity for us to get out of our own way. And then also, if we're the one who's feeling isolated, if we're the one who's feeling victimized and traumatized, to not allow us to sink to that level of depression, to not allow us to get to that place of desperation where we may, let rage take over, or let negative energies or evil intent create a situation like this. So it's our personal responsibility to keep ourselves and to navigate ourselves out of that space as best we can. And so if we're all sensitive to these energy connections, it'll make it easier for us then to be able to create unity and to be able to move through our own pain and suffering so that we can unite. And it's also an opportunity to stop, right? When tragedy happens, it's an opportunity to stop and assess our own life and assess really what's important to us. Where are our values? Are we heading in the right direction? Do I really need to work, 60, 70, 80 hours a week? Or is my family more important? Or do I need to really be spending my money this way or heading in that direction, or continue to remain angry at my son or my daughter or my ex or whatever it is, right? So it's about giving us an opportunity to stop and check ourselves for our own personal responsibility. Where are we responsible? How do our actions create a reaction in the universe? Are we coming from love, or are we coming from fear in our daily lives? And to begin to start to have a little more consciousness around our own actions and our own behaviors. And it's through that revelation that we can then create a positive effect, not only in our own lives, but in others as well. So we're being asked to stop and take a moment and to reflect and to look and see, how can I be better? What mistakes have I made? Or even it might be that not asking for what I need. What do I need? How am I feeling disconnected from somebody else? How am I feeling isolated? What's the bridge? And if you can't find a bridge with those closest to you, then find a bridge with an organization or someone else who is there designed to catch you before you fall. So there's opportunities, but we have to be willing to get out of our own way. And we have to be willing to be wrong about all the things that have happened to us or been done to us, or about how the world looks. And it's through that willingness to look at the prism differently that we can then create a new reality. So this is the challenge for us. This is the opportunity for us. And this is a perfect week as we move into the week. This week actually is an amazing time for healing. There is actually a shift in the energy at Wednesday evening all the way through for the next 7 days of just immense healing and light and love, that you don't have to do anything to deserve this. This is not having to work for it. It's just an opening in the universe, a cosmic event that is allowing us to be able to receive this divine energy. And what's interesting is when that level of light comes in, there can be an eruption. There can be the extreme darkness can be seen. So don't be surprised if there's other cataclysmic events that could happen next week or the week after, right? When this amount of light is revealed. And so it's our job, if we can absorb it just by paying attention to our own consciousness, by being able to receive more and to be able to then, allow ourselves to give it to other people, to share more, to be happy in spite of whatever's going on for you. And that's really hard to do when you're grieving, right? It sounds really strange. And for those of you who've lost loved ones, I know I've lost 2 brothers, and the way that our family got through it was recognizing them and having conversation about them and celebrating them and laughing about them and their idiosyncrasies and what we loved about them and what we joked about them. And it's really in remembering these people and their stories that really bring them to life and allows those people who've lost them to heal a little bit and to be able to keep them present, because as we know, our spirits are able to elevate, and they're also able to help us. So there's opportunity here for healing to happen, and however that needs to look. And the way that we can participate in that is by really being able to be reflective and be joyful in our own life, in spite of what's going on for us, in spite of the grief, in spite of the suffering. Find the light inside of it, and really be able to begin to appreciate that we're all connected. We all share in another's suffering, and we all can share in another's celebration. So this week of light, beginning from Wednesday into the next week, there's still this opportunity to be able to elevate and to help one another and to be able to celebrate this joy, in spite of the present pain and suffering that so many are going through. Now, these are things that are really high, spiritual conversations, and not always easy to employ in daily life. And we're human. So all we can do is what we can do. So don't beat yourself up if you can't get there. Don't beat yourself up if you can't stay there. But just recognize that there is love here to be able to be brought in so that we can use it and sustain ourselves with it, so we have more to give and more to share the rest of the year, okay? And meaning this is a cosmic connection that happens every 12 months. So it's this Wednesday that happens for another 12 months, right? So for the entire year, you get this full burst of energy, which is why there can be on the either end of this cataclysmic energy where that same amount of negative force can be seen in the world. So it's just having an awareness around the dynamics of the energy and being able to utilize the energy to our advantage, right? So plugging into happiness, plugging into appreciation, gratitude, paying attention to our own needs is the way to go at this time, okay? So let's see what else is available for us. And then to be able to use our creative energy, because this is also a very creative time as the latter part of the week, the creative energy to be able to take care of ourselves and to notice where our fears are, right? Because fear begets more fear, right? When we start talking more about fear and trying to control things and lock things down, it's coming from a fear conversation. So what we want to do is we want to stand in a love conversation, in a more powerful conversation that allows more resolution, different ideas, higher levels of consciousness, greater sense of communication and partnership to occur, as opposed to shutting down energy that has to do with fear. And that begins with ourselves. So the end of this week, all week actually, you can start to look at what fears are coming up for you or your children or your loved ones or your colleagues or your employees, and be able to define that fear and to not live it, right? But to be able to step back from it and to separate yourself from it. And in being able to separate yourself from that fear, right? And be reminding ourselves that's the part of the ego that's afraid, let me step back and get that deeper, more solid connection with inside of yourself. And whether, a lot of us use faith to use that, or we use just a knowing that I'm going to be okay. We use mantras, whatever we need to do, whatever we're afraid of, or we're afraid of what the world is turning into, or our home life is turning into, or what's going to happen at work, something more personal. It's, what's going to happen in my relationship. It's about stepping back, stopping, addressing that fear. And if we can trace that fear back to its origination and release it from there, we're going to be able to open up to a place of peace. And that peace will resonate and go out into the world and plant new seeds. And you'd be surprised what one person can do, right? Remember Gandhi, right? Remember what he did? One person affecting millions. So whether your soul is here to, influence 100 or 1,000 people or millions of people, we have to do our part. We don't have to, but the world would be better if we do. So the point being, let's all stop, take a look at ourselves, heal our own issues, take time to be able to, love yourself and communicate whatever needs to be communicated so that you can move forward and really step into your power so that the world is a place that we all want to be. So we can create it as a peaceful, place that's harmonious and where everybody can excel and everyone's gifts are seen and appreciated. And so it looks the way we want it to look at instead of what we've been seeing so much of. So I wish you all an amazing week. I hope that you all take time to work on yourselves, to be able to take a moment to be able to appreciate how amazing you are and how you've gotten yourself to where you are in your life in spite of everything that's happened around you, and to be able to just love yourself no matter, through the chaos, through the pain, through the suffering, and to be able to wrap yourself in friendship and in love and reach out to one another. Okay, guys, love you all. Prayers to all those affected, and I look forward to connecting with you again next week.